Today, I'm Al Furious. Yo dog, Katie Boucher here, Next Level Painting, hitting you up on the literal best of all days. Coming to you from the Beats Lab in Hollywood, California. We're doing it again. You guessed it, we're working on that Alpha Legion style. Plastic Contemptor Dreadnought from the Betrayal of Calth box set with some sweet Chaos style conversions. I gave away my 4th Decimator because I can no longer run them in the wake of the big FAQ of the new beta rules. So, my ITC list, which has been very successful all year, doesn't really change. We don't run 4 Decimators. We run 3 and a Contemptor. We like to roll the Soul Burners, and so we still have Soul Burners on the Contemptor Dreadnought. He has, half as many shots, but he has more wounds. He has -1 to hit because Alpha Legion style. He has 4 attacks or 5 attacks in close combat, -4 damage with the Chain Claw attack. So he actually provides an interesting little threat range in the pocket. He also hits on 2, so even though he has half as many shots, he's more likely to hit with them. I'm going to walk you through some of that Alpha Legion style to get that look on the plastic. We've covered this before, but I don't know if we've done it concise in a studio tutorial, so we're doing that here today. Before we start this tutorial, if you don't mind guys, I'm going to promote a little bit right here. First thing is we're going to do thank yous. Thank you, Jonathan, Nathan, Milk, Robots, Alan, ASD, Michael, Tim, Jonans, Mark, Evan, Frank, Joven, Cam, Alex, Wayne, Timothy, Patriots, Bob. Literally, these are my new patrons over on Patreon. I cannot do it without you guys. Bottom of my heart, thank you. Next thing is obviously the new one-on-one coaching class is filling up. We only have 4 slots left for this month and maybe next month. We only do 10 slots, private one-on-one coaching on Patreon. Thanks for letting me talk about the business side of things. Let's jump into the fun. Let's do this thing, guys. Contemptor Dreadnought on deck with this sweet Chain Fist conversions. These are some orc bits. Love it right here. Got the Soul Burner. Exile Blue P3 Stylist, that Privateer Press Tech. Unique. We're going to do several thin coats with this really dark blue over black, so it's going to be really dark. Definitely nurture it up, let it dry, do second pass, maybe even a third if you feel like you need it. We're going to be working in some new techniques from P3. We got the early exclusive Eldritch color. I'm about to show you this right here. Now there's several different ways to approach this chameleon style. I'm going to show you kind of the basic pre-heresy style. I'm going to mix a little bit of this up in the pot, mix it in with the Exile Blue, this brand new color, and we're going to do some light transition work. And this might be the most standard looking Alpha Legion color scheme you're familiar with. Very basic, very clean. I don't like the metallic colors, so I'm always looking to chase those highlights with straight colors so I can do a lot more different things with my edge highlighting. That's my only issue with the metallics, even though they're nice and clean. I think it kind of limits your ability to pop them out like a comic book. I have nothing against metallics, I use them quite frequently. So as you can see here, that's that basic style, that's that iconic 30K heresy style. But I like to do other things, so I'm going to show you a couple other things I do right here. Necrotite Green. I can't do a project without a little bit of Necrotite Green. I'm going to get this in the pot, thin it down, get it real thin, and we're going to start glazing it in. And we're just going to kind of just, pick on some highlights. Let it glaze naturally in because it's so thin with some Airbrush Flow Improver. It's going to blend with that new Eldritch Blue. It's going to give it a new sheen, kind of that chameleon style, that iridescent technique. I love to sneak the green in with my Alpha Legion, and immediately it starts popping. It starts changing the game. All right, can't do this without a little bit more Eldritch Blue Raw Dog. See, now last time we mixed it in 50-50 with the Exile Blue. We're going to go on straight up, and we're going to try to be, basically brave. We're going to just kind of spot on some areas that we think can use a little bit more technique. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to spot it on maybe in the midtones, give it a nice, interesting effect here, let it blend in with that Necrotite Green. We're not doing a linear airbrush job. Just say, oh, it's dark, it's bright, it's brighter. It's even a little bit brighter. Now, we go back and forth. We introduce the colors in interesting ways. As long as they're nice and thin and you can get them to be transitioned and very smooth, you'll be fine. That's how that works. Liking what I'm seeing here. I am already visualizing how he's going to look when we start popping all the edges out with the edge highlighting technique with an actual paintbrush. This dude's going to look straight out the comic book style. All right. We're about to do something you may have seen a couple of times before. We're going to be engaging the Hobo Shield because he's got a couple of flat panels that I want to do a couple interesting things with here. So the Hobo Shield is this basically a piece of paper. We're going to take some of that darker blue from the previous step, and we're just going to sneak in there and give ourselves a nice little transition right up against the cut, which shielding his head and all the top of his shoulders there. We want to give him a nice transition without blurring that stuff out. And you can go as crazy as you want here. You can just find any angle you think is necessary. Introduce some of these shades. You can do it with highlights too. Pretty easy stuff right here. Sneak it in, give ourselves a nice little shade. Pop it off. The Hobo Shield comes in clutch. And like I said, you can introduce highlights too. We just, shadowed it a little bit. But look, we got a little bit of that green. Mix it with a little bit of that yellow. Technique, might be jumping the gun here, but we're going to just spray a little bit on right there on the edge without introducing any to the side panel. There it is. Fabulous. Stay busy in the beat slab. You can literally turn garbage into tools. All right, Arcane Blue. This is a little bit different than the new Eldritch Blue. The new Eldritch Blue is kind of in between this and Meridius. So we're going to use this to find some more highlights. We're going to thin it down, and we're going to glaze it into some of the green to give ourselves a new, more aquatic look. It's going to kind of reinforce the shimmering chameleon coat. And the thing that we're kind of waiting on here, like I said, is the final steps when we pull our paintbrush out and actually drag some highlights in. It's going to really make it look reflective. Loving this look already. Okay, let's talk about some yellows. Pick out your favorite yellow. I'm using a little Signar yellow right here from P3. Mix it in with your Necrotite green or not, whatever. We're going to thin it down, and we're going to pop those final little peaks out at the bottom of his greaves, at the tops of his hands, all that shit. Basically, we're giving it that final exclamation point that it needs to look like next level painting style, that comic book style. All right, here's a new color. Psych. Heavy metal, scale 75. I just put a different top on it, so I trick you guys. These are some of the easiest metallics to use. Now, I love all the metallics and all the paint companies, even though I'm trying to work with some P3 paints right now. Yeah, I ain't trying to work with any metallic right now except scale 75. We're taking this super bright silver, and we're just going to paint it on every surface that requires trim. It's super bright over the top, but that's the system. Take it to 11, and then we'll wash it back down to 10. So I like it to be a little brighter, so when I start introducing my wash game and maybe some weathering techniques, it can do more. We can create more contrast. He's looking pretty solid. Now we got to work on the hands. I did magnetize these, make it easy. So we're going to paint these claws, same thing. Big ass brush, Bombwick, slowfusegaming.com, one of my favorite brands of brushes in the game right now. And we're going to just do several thin coats. Maybe only one. I don't care if it's a little blotchy. If it dries a little blotchy, that's fine, because I'm going to do some heavy washing chaos style. Love these conversions. Yo, this Contemptor out of control. Okay, here we go. Galvanized steel, brand new off the press P3 formula. This is basically great. We're going to use this real quick to paint the purity seal thingy, or I don't know. That's probably the one. What do scroll work? The parchment. Normally I do more of a bone color, but I like the clean lines here, so we're going with this nice gray color. We're going to set it up, give it a couple thin coats, and then later we'll build up some highlights, maybe draw some words on it. Right now we're just getting into that BTTQ system, the barely tabletop quality. This is basically how all my models come together, just like that. There he is. That's tournament ready. You can bring that anywhere in the world, and then for a couple more minutes on the weekend, he will be next level. Speaking of which, catch me on Twitch. We'll take him to the next level together. Play on, players.